So when you take a journey and you are going on a trip, your experience is uniquely your own. Even if you have a person who is going to the same destination, same airlines, maybe it's a different day, everybody's experience is uniquely their own. And the same thing is true on your creative journey as well. It is uniquely your own. And it is influenced by so many variations, so many things, so many different people inspiring you, where you live, your fondness for a particular season over another person's. There are so many variations, even what materials you prefer to use the most. Then there are experiences of what you yourself will endure on your trip, what will happen, who you will meet, what experience comes your way, the weather, so many things. But my point is today, it's uniquely your own. And no one else can determine your journey but you, and whom you choose to engage in, how far you are willing to go, how much you are willing to move forward, and to be the hero of your particular odyssey, shall we say. And that's the difference between a journey and an odyssey, is that you decide to be a hero and push past all the obstacles that come your way, including your internal obstacles, your fears of putting yourself out there, your fear of working on a blank canvas or a blank sketchbook, your fear of putting yourself in uncomfortable situations where you might have to interact with other people. All those things kind of weigh into your art odyssey. And the reason why I'm making this video today is because it goes back to the video I made 2 videos ago, a couple weeks ago, where I was talking about art hacks. And I want to expand upon that, because even though I knew that there was going to be a lot of sensationalism a bit in that video, and I had some interesting conversations with people, I felt a little slightly misunderstood. And I know, it's like on these art channels, we're here for such a limited amount of time. And so it's going to take a while before, if you're a subscriber, before you really know me completely. And I mean, because I'm on a journey to explore myself, and to know myself better. So we're all constantly changing as well. What I might have liked 5 years ago has evolved into what's going on in my life now. And I'm sure you're that way too. But what I wanted to expand upon was that I feel like in order for you to have the fullest art odyssey, a magnificent journey of exploration and trying new things and exploring your own creative spirit, is that you need to not be boxed in. And I mean that in a wide range of ways. Of course, these are my opinions. That's what we do here. This is all what I say here is my opinions, right? For what it's worth. Just from my own experience. So I will say, as you know, if you've been here for a hot minute, is that I do like foundational knowledge when it comes to art. I mean, you'll see my work back here. Most of this, especially on the bottom shelf, is all representational work where it's a study of accuracy. Then maybe on the second shelf here, you see more of my landscape type work, especially these 2 on the end here, because they're more loose and more abstract, more impressionist in their style. And that's where I'm leaning more towards these days anyways. The foundational knowledge that I keep mentioning to you and encouraging you to make sure that you're doing that is because I feel like that's your toolbox, right? That's your tool belt. That's your foundational information, because once you have that foundation, then you can expand from it. And you have all the basic knowledge that you need to move forward and expand. And just the opposite, because there for a while I was studying atelier styled painting and drawing, and learning more about myself, also trying to test myself if I could paint or draw that way. And I felt like I had proved myself to myself that I felt like I could if I chose to do it. But what I learned about myself was the fact that I get bored really, really easy. And I don't like to work on something for long, extended periods of time. And I felt very contained, and I didn't like that. So that's why I've started working backwards. But I feel like I have everything I need in my toolbox to do that. But the gentle balance is that once you move that far, tight, that's also another box, right? Not having enough information is one box that doesn't allow you to fully creatively express yourself, and then being too tight is another box that you can get stuck in, and to where it's also difficult to express yourself creatively. And I've known some artists that have graduated from ateliers, because I follow several, or at least I did follow several artists that were going through atelier schools, which is a very old school, very accurate way of drawing. Not photorealism though. So don't get mistaken when I talk about realism or representational work as photorealism. That's a whole different thing. And me personally, I mean, you may love this. You might like photorealism. I don't. I find it boring because it loses a human element to it. Even I feel like a representational artwork can still have a really strong human element to it, where I feel like photorealism is just trying to duplicate a computer or a camera, and I've never been interested in that level of work. It's the most boring to me. And again, that's just, me. For me, that's just like a really far-ended box, because I feel like you'd be stuck like printing off a bunch of images from your camera or stuff, and there's no way to understand softness and, anyways, creativity. But from the atelier artists that I have been following, I've even noticed a trend where, they were so into all the classes where everything was so super accurate. This one artist that I follow, a young man who's really amazing at accurately drawing and understanding form and shadow and line and everything that's important when it comes to classical drawing. He wanted to move away from that, and so he started merging the two in his own unique way, where there's bright color streaks and stuff, and there's still an element of the human form, because that seems to be what he's drawn to the most, and there's just lots of color and stuff. But regardless, that's my fondest wish for you, is for you to have a unique, completely your own creative journey, and to not get too bogged down in anything. Another element that we can get bogged down in when dealing with art is the fact that if you're trying to make a living doing art, because then you're really always thinking about what will sell. That's another box. I don't have that because I've got a job. My background is in graphic design, and you can certainly find a job that will bring in your creativity. I am having so much problem saying that word today. But bringing in your creativity and still paying the bills. But if you're working on your own and you're trying to be an artist who's just painting or drawing or whatever for a living, it gets a lot more complicated. But I don't think all of you are trying to do that. All of you are probably not trying to make a living from your art. Maybe you would like to sell a few things. But I think for the most part, your heart's desire is to make art for yourself and for your own creative spirit. And that's why when I talk about art hacks, I don't want anything to distract you from all the possibilities of the adventure that lies on your path. All that I am encouraging you to do is to be brave and try as many things as possible. Have as many experiences as possible. And look for things that really, really inspire you. I had one person comment the fact that she had taken a look at my Pinterest page and she found it rather interesting how it was organized. And I got to thinking, maybe I might show you that. I also thought that might be a good way to clear up what I think some of you might think my focus is. But I think some of you might be a little surprised by how diverse my interests are, how far it expands, and things that I try that are a little out of the realm of just painting and drawing even. So I thought I would share with you a little bit about that Pinterest page today. So I also wanted to point out this Pinterest app. And if you don't have it, you can download it onto your smartphone. It's free. And you can search for me. And I'm also going to put a link in the description box down below for this video so that you can find it if you have any troubles finding it. But what I want to share with you is I've got a few pins in here, a few collections that you might find inspiring. Now there's a few things I have locked down that are home related stuff, decoration, girly stuff. But I have a couple of boards you might be interested in. I have my art board, which is a collection of all sorts of cool collected, curated pins. And then I also have a couple of more fabric related types of creative endeavors, which I also find really interesting. So that's just kind of something that I play with as well. Once in a while I'll do some creative embroidery type of work. So those you can see, that and this creative thing that I'm doing here. But this is the main one that I want to share with you, the art board. And so when you go in here, it opens up and it's a whole collection of boards within this art collection. And it's got some of the artists that I find really inspiring, that I love. Kwang Ho, for example, amazing landscape. He does all kinds of work, but he's well known in the industry. But I love his dance between realism or representational type of work and abstract. And then I have landscapes and abstract, which I know that you should know, at least if you're following me here, you must know how much I love, I love landscapes period, but I love it when they start dancing in between something that's recognizable as nature and abstract. Aaron Weisenfeld, who I've mentioned before, who I adore, he used to be a well-known, or he's well-known comic book artist. He did, I think it was Superman for DC maybe. And then now he just does all these really unusual, moody types of paintings. So I have a couple of his books because I find his work really inspiring and different and unique. And Stanka Kordic, who does beautiful illustrative, kind of abstract, not illustrated, but abstract paintings of mostly women that, again, do that dance between abstract and representational type of work. Then I have realistic painters like the Romantics, like Rossetti and Waterhouse and all that. I have a couple of artists that are living representational artists. There's a collection of just a lot of different ones. More landscape stuff. And then I have a board for atelier type of accurate drawing styles and people that are well known, like Stephen Ballman, Julio Reyes is in that collection. Then I have just inspiring art, stuff that inspires me that's a little maybe more different. not my style as far as like, especially when it comes to Sandy's work. I just really find Sandy and her videos to be so inspiring. And there's one of her videos. I faithfully follow Sandy, but there's lots of interesting things in here that I found interesting as well. Still lifes, historical art, culturally inspired, almost graphical type of work. Of course, if you know me at all, you know I'm a hardcore Andrew Wyeth girl. And there's just all kinds of stuff, sketchbook collections, abstract. I do a little bit of printmaking, and I love this pin on a whole bunch, or a board on a whole bunch of different artist studios, because that's my heart's desire, is to one day eventually have my own studio with a big window overlooking my garden where I can feed my birds and just paint and hopefully continue making videos for all of y'all. That's my dream. But anyways, they're beautiful to look at if nothing. And then I have some Joseon era Korea stuff. So a few different things for you to take a look at. So, but feel free to come here if you're just looking for inspiration. If you don't already have a collection of pins yourself, feel free to grab what I have, and then you can just go off on your own and start putting in searches and finding other artists that you love. And if there's something in here you like that one right there, once you hit that pin that I've got in this collection, if you just go down like this, if you don't know this already, and I'm not a Pinterest master, but there's other things in here that you could add to your collection. You just pin it. So you just do like that and pin. And you have to tell it where you want it to go and stuff, but it's a great little app for inspiration. So I hope that's helpful. I also want to share with you something that I've used for play in recent years. And so somebody gave me this beautiful book. One of my past students from classes I used to teach back in 2019. And it's a handmade little journal that she had created for me with my name on it, which I thought was so sweet. But it's so beautiful that I've always been kind of like hesitant with what to do with it. But I eventually started getting bold enough to and I had done this leaf. I've done a lot of leaves. But I started just playing with watercolors and gouache, and nothing in here is really like finished or overly done, but I was just playing with swatching colors and playing with colors a little bit. So I wanted to show you this as well, just as another thing to inspire you to just play. Just mixing different colors and then trying to find a way to incorporate an image. These are just out of my imagination, so these were just play. Some stuff's just not even done. Sometimes I don't always love the color combinations. Like this is really, really bright, so not all of them have any kind of image in it, but I certainly like the colors. I love browns and blues, earth tones. This one I don't love as much. I don't know why. In some pages I've incorporated an image, and others I haven't, and that's about as far as I've gotten this far. But that's what I've done with this book, not really knowing but the paper is so good. It's like some really good thick watercolor paper, but I've been very gingerly through this book because I do find it to be so special. But I just thought you might find some inspiration in that as well. And seeing that, I guess because I felt a little overwhelmed with the fact that I felt that people were thinking that I was maybe thinking that people should be more like me, maybe in my style, and they should definitely go towards being really super disciplined and focusing on the foundation. I'm not really. I love all kinds of abstract and unique work. So, and that is something that I want to lean more into, but I still want to utilize the tools in my tool belt, which are my foundational knowledge of drawing and painting. So anyways, I thought that might be a creative thing to share with you as well today. So
what a blessing that was to have someone a student that was kind enough to gift me that. It's such a pretty little book. Just so really special. See, it's all hand bound into signatures. Each one of these groups are called signatures that the person that makes this binds them. It's so pretty. Such a beautiful, thoughtful gift. I'll always cherish it for sure.
So that's all I have for you this week, guys. I hope you found something encouraging or inspiring in today's video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and try to comment down below to let me know you made it this far. Leave me an emoji or something at least. And I hope that you all have a beautiful, blessed, and creative week ahead. And I will see you next week. Bye.